David Platt once said, "There's a unique grief that comes from preparing a place in your heart for a child that never comes." Those words capture the emotional pain that many couples and individuals go through during infertility. Most people think that infertility is just a medical condition, but it actually affects far beyond the physical. It can cause anxiety, isolation, grief, depression, and relationship stress that often goes unseen. I would like to share the story of Chrissy Teigen, who openly expresses her experiences with infertility, IVF, and pregnancy loss, and the emotional challenges she faced during this time. After I share her story, we will examine why infertility causes such a psychological trauma, why mental health counseling is often inaccessible, and why I believe that the U.S. should help cover mental health counseling for couples and individuals during this time. I would like to begin with Chrissy Teigen's story. Chrissy Teigen and her husband John Legend were hoping to grow their family, and like many, they thought that this would happen naturally. And then they were hit with the struggles of infertility that many more go through than we think. According to the World Health Organization, in their 2023 infertility fact sheet, approximately 1 in 6 people worldwide experience infertility during their lifetime. And I want us to think about that for a moment. That means millions of people go through the same struggle that Chrissy Teigen and her husband John Legend have experienced, which shows that their story is not uncommon. After IVF and later experiencing the loss of her son Jack, Chrissy Teigen experienced grief and emotional pain. On September 30th, 2020, Chrissy Teigen shared her heartbreak on Instagram, writing, "We are shocked and in the kind of deep pain you only hear about, the kind of pain we've never felt before." By sharing, she helped people understand that infertility and pregnancy loss affect emotional health just as much as the physical. Teigen realized countless of people silently struggle with the same things her and her husband struggle with. Clinical psychologists Dr. Alice G. Dahmer and Alice Les Kelly explained in their 2015 book, Conquering Infertility, Dr. Alice Dahmer's Mind-Body Guide to Enhancing Fertility, Coping with Infertility, that infertility is a life crisis that affects every aspect of a person's life. Because she spoke in interviews, books, and social media, she helped reduce the stigma around infertility, IVF, and mental health. Teigen's story reminds us that treating infertility should include the emotional well-being just as much as the physical. Unfortunately, her story is not unique. It reflects the experiences of millions throughout the U.S. Infertility is a long and emotional journey that starts from the diagnosis to the fertility treatment, to the failed IVF, to the pregnancy loss, to the mental health challenges such as anxiety, depression, isolation, grief, and relationship stress. Yet mental health support is not consistently integrated into fertility treatment. Instead, it often relies on one's insurance or their own out-of-pocket money. Now, if mental health is an essential part of our well-being, then fertility treatment should address both emotional and physical well-being. That brings me to my next part. First, infertility causes significant psychological trauma. K.L. Rooney and Dr. Alice D. Dahmer explained in their 2018 article, The Relationship Between Stress and Infertility, published in Dialogues in Clinical Neuroscience, that infertility is consistently associated with elevated levels of stress, anxiety, and depression. This shows that infertility is much more than a medical diagnosis. It is also a serious emotional challenge. Second, mental health counseling is often inaccessible. According to Resolve, the National Infertility Association, in its 2024 Resources on Infertility Advocacy and Emotional Support, insurance coverage for infertility-related mental health services varies across the U.S. As a result, many individuals struggle to obtain affordable emotional support during one of the hardest times of their life. And finally, counseling works. Karen M. Consway and Dr. Alice D. Dahmer explained in their 2007 article, Psychological Impact of Infertility, that counseling helps individuals and couples cope with infertility-related stress and improves emotional well-being throughout treatment. And the American Society for Reproductive Medicine 2023 Committee opinion also recommends integrating mental health professionals into fertility care because emotional support helps patients manage stress, develop healthy coping skills, and better navigate infertility treatment. Infertility affects both the physical and emotional well-being, and access should not depend on one's insurance or financial situation. I want to close with the same quote I opened up with. David Platt's words, "There is a unique grief that comes from preparing a place in your heart for a child that never comes." Those words remind us that infertility is not only a medical condition, it is a deeply personal experience that leaves a long-lasting emotional effect. Chrissy Teigen's story shows the importance of acknowledging mental health during infertility and not suffering in silence. Because infertility causes significant psychological trauma, because counseling is often inaccessible, and because counseling improves emotional well-being, the U.S. should require insurance providers to cover mental health counseling for individuals and couples experiencing infertility. By making mental health counseling a standard part of fertility care, we can ensure that no one has to suffer the emotional challenges of infertility alone. Thank you.